Road America for round 4 of the LMP2 Championship here at Motive Racing. My name is Andy and I'm joined in the commentary box by our very own Diabetic Lamb tonight. Good to have you with me in the commentary box. You might have heard Diabetic Lamb did a fantastic job on Friday night. Actually commentated for the full 3 hours on the GT5 Genetic Cup, which big thank you to you for Diabetic Lamb. And how was that actually, doing that last night on the long stint?
Well, there's plenty of action, mainly in the Tier 1 race. Obviously, we had a lot more drivers just due to what was going on over at Indianapolis, but there's, well, 3 wide into Stowe was interesting lap after lap in the Tier 1s if you missed that. I think it is uploaded on the channel now, so you can go over and watch that. And yeah, it was some good racing we saw.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I was involved in the Tier 1 event. I had an opportunity to win it in the sprint race, but unfortunately I got a little bit held up by a back marker. It's just one of those things in racing. That was a shame, but yeah, managed to watch the stream afterwards, mate, and I got to say, you absolutely killed it. Considering it's not easy to keep talking for 3 hours non-stop with a couple of 5-minute breaks in the middle. So it was a hell of a job from you, to be fair. But for me, obviously, I was racing in a rival leagues event in the Indianapolis 500, and unfortunately I didn't go too well. I ended up qualifying on the pole, but unfortunately forgot to do my setup, which, as you know, it's just way too easy to do on Project Cars 2, and the setup didn't load, so that was that. Ended up racing in the GT5s, and it led to more disappointment ultimately, so bit of a bummer, but oh well, I suppose we go again.
Well, we are here at Road America, ladies and gentlemen, for the 4th round of our LMP2 Championship. We are into Season 3 of the league now. The standings are looking like this, with, is it Xander or Xander?
Sandy.
Zandy leading the championship by 27 points to myself, apparently. Hard to believe. I read it, I was like, wait, what?
Oh no, hold on, those are out of date. No, those are after round 2 at Kota. So you're definitely not second after last week.
I was going to say, unfortunately, fortunately for myself,
if you
there
didn't,
is no stream footage from that.
If you didn't catch last week's stream here at Motive Racing, Diabetic Lamb went into last week's event at Zhuhai with actually quite a good position in the championship. He was second in the championship, 27 points behind Zande in the standings. However, upon departing Zhuhai last week, the standings were somewhat telling a different story from the perspective of Diabetic Lamb. I would say it wasn't the greatest of performances from yourself.
Well, I mean,
if you care to explain.
I think I can remember. I knew I had to beat him, obviously being 27 points behind, and I think the first lap, I think he crashed or something, and I was like, right, come on, we've got this, because I was in a party with Richie and Ben, Smithy was there, and I was like, right boys, we've got this now, I'm going to take the championship lead. And then the rain around Zhuhai is just the worst combination I've ever witnessed. Qualified on pole for the feature race, then I was like, oh, I love this track now in the dry. And then it just all went bad again. It was just, it just wasn't a good night. So I've retired from racing.
In LMP2s.
Yeah, I've given up.
Well, we do hope that you do join back onto the track at some point, Diabetic Lamb, because you're actually very quick, especially in the GT5s. A couple of weeks ago, if you didn't actually see, Diabetic Lamb did score a rather dominant victory in the wet conditions at Hockenheim. He eventually won the race by, I think it was over 20 seconds, wasn't it, to Fabi in the end? Or was it 40 seconds?
Something like that. I literally did the same last night as I've just done. When I was reading the championship standings out, I was like, Pro Fubby's won 3 races this championship, but he finished second last week. What happened there? And then realised I'd won last week. It's just, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was a good race last week. Although the conditions were awful, as you knew, in the GT5s.
Yeah, 100%. But likewise, they were at Zhuhai. This week has been a lot, and last night as well. Obviously at Silverstone, I mean, I had a chance of chasing down Seuss, but in the end, I think he was a little bit too consistent. It was too much of a challenge to reel him in lap after lap after lap. But yeah. Anyway, here at Road America, we're expecting dry conditions today. Thank God, because I don't think I could possibly deal with another week like we had last week at Zhuhai. I believe that this is probably the best way to run. Bone dry, nice and clear, and hopefully some good clean racing. Everybody keeping it good off the start line. It's a very narrow track here at Road America, so obviously upon acceleration people will probably get bad starts, and they just need to be aware of each other, and the guys who get the better starts need to probably back off if they do end up getting a good run, because otherwise it's just going to cause a carnage. So hopefully everyone does keep themselves in check. We're currently riding on board with DJ Phil at the moment, who is sat in 5th place in the standings for qualifying. We're currently 9.2 seconds off of the pole time. We saw DJ Phil racing earlier on in the GT3s actually, and they managed to get some fantastic points in a feature race. Oh, as we see somebody spin there. Oh, they looked like they spun, but they managed to just about hang on to it. I'm not quite sure who that was. Well, not 100%.
Got a lot of pace in the LMP2s, as I witnessed last week, getting lapped by most of the field.
Well, I suppose you win and you lose some, don't you? And it's the ones that you lose from that you gain the most. Oh, Dizzy Mind loses the car. We've got a yellow flag here. Dizzy Mind all over the place. Nicky77 currently sat P2, 7/10 of a second off for the provisional pole time, which is being set by our late stand-in for tonight, Dizzy Mind. What a lap there from Dizzy Mind. Very impressive. See if he keeps this sort of form up so far. Ben Parkey currently riding with him, and Diabetic Lime, you can tell us something about him, because did you go toe to toe with him a couple of weeks ago, or was that Smithy?
No, I think that was Smithy, but I do know that Ben Parkey, he races supercarts in real life, and the prices when we were in party chat for Circuit of Americas, it was when we were learning stuff about him, he says I think he has to change the pistons in his engine every 10 hours. I think that costs £400 or something stupid.
Jesus. And that's just cart?
That's just for his little go-kart, yeah, supercart.
My God. I don't know how anybody could even fathom spending that much. It's I mean, it's the type of thing where you just do it for fun, don't you? You can't expect to make money out of it, surely. It's like...
Yeah, I think it's just all about sponsors, but Richie, he's still a reserve driver in the championship, but he's won every race so far, I think. Well,
yeah.
Apart from last week, I haven't got last week's results. Can't see them, but yeah, a very dominant performance from himself this season.
Yeah, absolutely, and it would seem a little bit unfair if we don't find a way to accommodate Richie in the point standings, because as you say, he's been such a breath of fresh air this season, has taken the win in every single one of them, and it would I think that we should probably find a way to get him in those standings, because he does deserve to take the championship based on the form in the first half of the season. Obviously we've still got the second half to go. This is round 4 of 6 here at Road America, so hopefully we can get that sorted out, because otherwise the championship leader at this point in the season would actually be, I imagine it would probably be, well, I don't know if it'd be Zande
or Ben. Ben had a good race last week.
Yeah, Ben Parkey possibly.
It was either Nicky or Ben that had a really good performance. I've just noticed there mechanical fault for Ubar in qualifying.
Oh my goodness, I wonder what's happened there. Yeah, we can't see what's going on with the Flying Dutchman's car at the moment, but he is coming out the last turn up the hill towards the start-finish line. Let's see what this is going to be for our man from Hoogeveen. Looks like he moves up to 7th, but that was most probably an outlap, because he is 22.6 seconds off of the pole time. The Dizzler is just currently coming around the final sector here through the S's. Let's see what he's going to be doing. The Dizzler was actually the pace car in another league's event that I was racing in last night at Indianapolis, and he did a great job. He actually managed to complete 25% of the race distance,
2 pit stops
driving the safety car, and he made 2 pit stops for fuel. So the Dizzler was a very, very busy man last night. Certainly hasn't had any nights off this week, and he's currently sat P4 in this session, so hopefully the sleep deprivation that he must have incurred during that has somewhat worn off, obviously with the race extending way into the night. But yeah, the Disney doing a good job tonight, and I'm sure there's more pace in that car to come. Let's grab some race info here, if we can.
Well, I've got some up for the road course this evening. We are at Road America. Road course. The length of the track is 4 miles dead, which is 6.5 kilometres. 14 turns for these drivers. The race lap record by Dario Franchitti, however you say it, is a 1:39.8 in the Champ Car World Series, and that's been held since 2000.
Looks like those cars have probably been retired from this circuit then, by the sounds of it. We're currently riding on board with... Oh, sorry, mate, go on.
I mean, well, they have the IndyCar around here as well. I'd reckon they're lapping quite fast. I don't know what the world record is for that around here, but they have the American Le Mans series as well. NASCAR. It's a well-known track.
Well, we obviously had the IndyCar around here a couple of weeks ago. One of the first races of the post-lockdown era, actually, in IndyCar. No spectators were present. It was behind closed doors. Who actually won that race? I can't remember who won now.
No, I can't remember. He won 2 back-to-back, I think.
I know it was on because Diabetic Lamb was actually trying to convince me to stay up and watch it, and in the end I think I fell asleep or something happened. There was a reason why I didn't join you for that, but that was a shame. I mean, we were going to watch that together, but I'm sure there'll be other ones anyway. As we
NASCAR tonight.
You know what, I'm not working till 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, so maybe. In the meantime, we're currently watching Ben Parkey, who made his debut in the Motive Racing League at Circuit of the Americas a couple of weeks ago, and we saw him immediately on the pace despite the late notice in actually joining up to the league. I don't currently have any information on him in the driver info section, but he races supercars in real life, as Diabetic Lamb was alluding to just a few moments ago. Very, very expensive sport to get involved with. He's obviously a pro racing driver, as we just mentioned. As we see, but that's not how the professionals do it. But Ben, as he puts it into the barriers, takes a couple of cones with him here, and looks like he's put it into the pits. He might get time to do one more run, although I don't think he will by the looks of it, as we're currently riding with our Frenchman here, Richie 95, who was the runner-up last season in the LMP2s here at Motive Racing. We'll be desperate to go one better this season. Now obviously there's a little bit of a grey area in the rules which states that reserve drivers, people who haven't signed up to the championship at the beginning, aren't eligible to score points. Now obviously we do hope that we can somehow get around this rule, because Richie 95 has been unbelievable this season. I mean, Diabetic Lamb, you've raced with him out on track, and he's been nothing short of phenomenal so far this season. He's taken the win at every single race so far.
Even with the rule of starting from the back after the sprint race, not being able to qualify for the future, he was still up to the podium by a couple of laps through to the race. So he's, I think these faster cars work well for him. As you said, I perform better in the GT5s. I just can't get my brain around going around corners flat out as such. But it's he's definitely knows his way around these cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie, obviously we're riding with Dizzy Mind at the moment. Dizzy Mind actually a late stand-in for this race tonight. Spoke to him a little while ago. He said he was well up for a race, so it's good to have him out on track. And I have actually got some info on him here. Dizzy Mind has been racing in league racing since 2010, back when the Codemasters F1 series started out. He works for a karting company in Belgium, in a place called Genk, and he's familiar with motorsports both online and in the real world. Hopes to be getting on track with us as soon as possible. This was written back in June now, a month ago this was written. Dizzy Mind is currently sat in, he goes very, very wide there, coming through into the final sector. That would not have helped his cause any amount at all, but he's still 1.6 seconds off of the pole time. I don't think this will be an improvement, what with that little moment coming through. He loses the car on the exit of the last corner into the wall. We've got a yellow flag, but he looks like he's put it into the pit, so it's alright.
End of quali.
Here's Ravi. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to Rav there. Flying Dutchman still sat P6, 4.2 seconds on pace. Now we know he's got the talent in these LMP2s. He is the lead coordinator here at Motive Racing, so he runs these. This is his bread and butter. Whether or not he can deliver the bread sauce on this final lap is yet to be seen, but it looks like he's, well, we haven't got the split times at the moment, but he's just coming through the middle sector now, and I know personally this is one of his favourite tracks on the Project Cars 2 platform on PS4. Driving the number 42 Thrustmaster livery here, the Nissan. See what this is going to be. Yeah, he has got a bit of traffic. As we see, it looks like the Dizzler's finished his run. He's qualified P3 at the moment, but Upar's going to try and change that. DJ Phil is half a second up on his personal best at the moment. Currently sat P8 in this session. Let's see if he can put himself up the order as he comes through. It looks like he's very, very tidy, keeping it within the track limits, staying off the curves on the left-hand side. This is an absolute hell of a lap time here from DJ Phil, driving in the number 35, pink and black livery tonight. Here he comes. He throws it out of the last corner, foot to the floor as he comes up the hill. Let's see what DJ Phil can do here. Currently in a very decent 8th place position here. Let's see if he can move himself up on his final run over the line, and he improves his lap time, but not quite enough to move himself up into position. Stays P8 for the time being. Richie is coming up to the line. Let's see what Richie can do as he comes over the start finish line. Can he put it on pole? He can't. 0.6 of a second short. Ubar loses it on the last lap, and that is going to be that, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be Ben Parkey at the front, Richie in second place. Diabetic Lamb, what do you make of Richie actually not being on pole?
Well, like I said last week, I think Ben had a brilliant performance. With him being new to Motive, I think it's taken this time for him to learn the car, learn how to use it. Such as I said, the downforce in these cars is unreal. You can go through corners at stupid speeds, and I think he's now gelled well with it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's seems to be getting to grips with this Richie at the moment, on the back foot as it stands. We're about to go racing here for the sprint race, guys. If you like what you see here on the Motive Racing channel, then be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here, and don't forget to join us on Discord as well. Obviously you can become part of the racing that you see in front of you on our Discord server. It's all free to join. It's all very, very highly advised. We recommend it 100%. You've got multiple leagues throughout the week. GTEs on Monday night, if that's not for you. You got the front wheel drive Clios on Tuesdays, then GT5 Genettas on Friday. Those are actually going out for next season. When we move to Project Cars 3, we will be adopting a new category for Friday nights. On Saturdays, at the moment, we've got a double header, GT3s and LMP2s. Now we're considering moving GT3s to a more sensible time of the day, maybe 7 or 8 instead of 5 o'clock. That's my idea anyway. I don't know whether it's going to come off, but hopefully we're moving those to a better time of the day. We've got LMP2s 8 o'clock, touring cars on Sundays at 8 PM as well. So if any of those are your type of thing, then go to our Discord and get yourselves involved. It's definitely definitely one of the best or most authentic sim racing experiences on the PlayStation 4 platform on Project Cars 2. It looks like we're about to go racing here for the sprint race, and who's your money on for this one, Diabetic Lamb? Lots of fast drivers out there tonight.
Yeah, well, I'm going to go for Ben with this one. He's showing his pace 5 tenths quicker in qualifying now. I was just checking my Facebook, and I've noticed that Donington Park is flooded due to this weather we've got going on. So we're lucky we're not there this evening for more rain like Zuai last week.
Yeah, we're lucky that we're across the pond over in, I don't know where Road America is. Is it in? I haven't got a clue.
I've got it right now. Wisconsin.
Okay. Well, anyway, guys, we are about to go racing here at Road America. We're almost under green light conditions here. Ben Parkey on the right of your screen. It looks like Richie gets a very good start there off the line. He's already up into the lead. It looks like Dizzy Mine slots in behind him, P3. Looks like Opar's down to up to P4 already. DJ Phil has made a fantastic start. He's up into 5th place. So we come up towards turn 1. Ben Parkey has a little look to the inside of Richie, but Richie's got the position for the time being. It looks like Dizzy Mine slots in behind these guys. You got Upar sat P4 trying to fend off DJ Phil. Civic is trying to defend from the Dizzler. Nicky right behind those guys, and Ravi has had an absolute mare. Ravenous is down to, Ravenmeister monsters. Raven Maestro even is down to the 9th place here at the start of this race, already falling off the back of the pack, but Richie making the perfect start there, Diabetic Lamb, getting himself up into the lead.
Yeah, he got the better start over Ben, and he was on the inside into turn 1, so he made it work perfectly, and it looks like Ben's cracked under pressure now. We see him just run wide there, down at the King.
Oh, as we see there's the distance gone very, very wide, and it looks like he almost spins it round, but just about. Oh no, Nicky's gone off into the barriers. Ravi just about managing to avoid him there. Nicky gets it spun round, pointing in the right direction once again. DJ Phil is facing some heavy pressure now from Civic. These guys 5th and 6th at the moment. DJ Phil did a good qualifying session, managed to get it up into 8th place. And he's made an even better start, gained 3 places on this opening lap. It's been a phenomenal getaway for DJ Phil. Obviously racing GT3s earlier on, managed to finish at 9th in the feature race. So it was some excellent points for him in his conquest to stay in the top tier for next season, as we're currently riding on board with Ben Parkey here, who's still sticking to the back of Richie Lamb, despite his not so great start.
Yeah, I mean, it's the end of lap 1 now. We've got 18 minutes to go of this race. It's not going to all be won in the first lap. I'm sure we'll see a lot more action. Obviously that little bit of incident there for Nicky. He's put him back probably in the pits after hitting the wall. But yeah, anything can happen, especially around this track, just due to, as we saw in qualifying, the curbs are so violent around here, especially with how low the cars are. It can bite you and throw you into the wall. So one wrong move from Richie or Ben, and Dizzle can be straight up there. As you can see him there, his lights are in the background, and fighting for the top spot on the podium. Yeah,
absolutely. He's currently best of the rest at the moment, the Dizzler, but as you say, one small mistake can totally throw the balance of the race, as we're currently riding with Dizzler's had a moment. Dizzy Miner's in 3rd, sorry about it. Yeah, absolutely. Dizzler looking to the inside here of Ugbar, but can't make the move for the time being. Ugbar just fending him off. Civic is running right up the chuff here. It looks like that's a little bit of a moment there onto the grass, and is Ugbar, sorry, that's the Dizzler there, yeah, going off onto the grass, and Civic almost had a look in there, but didn't quite manage to get the position. Maybe a bit nervous about going in for a move there. He was a little bit too far back. So for the time being, looks like DJ Phil is coming under heavy pressure now from Ravi. Ravi had a poor first lap, didn't he? But he manages to get himself onto the back of Phil. This is for 7th place, and it looks like at the moment DJ Phil fending him off quite nicely.
Yeah, I mean, as we know, Rav's been doing a lot of IndyCar driving like yourself. He managed to get to the end last night, so he hasn't really done much practice recently turning right, so yeah, he looks to be struggling after coming out of that IndyCar last night.
Well, he's come out of that IndyCar race with a bit of, I'd say, his tail between his legs, because he had such a good race. He was leading throughout the opening part of the race. I remember during the break in our Tier 1 race last night for the GT5s, I had a look at the stream, and he was leading on the caution, I think on about lap 50 or something.
I think I looked at the same time.
Yeah, and then a few minutes after that, he comes into our party chat and starts cursing another driver who I think took him out of the race. Yeah, she might be named. Let's not name names, or let's not name and shame in here. But certainly he wasn't happy with a certain driver who was part of that race, and he was really upset, to be honest. He was absolutely gutted. He was genuinely almost close to tears, I think, was Ravi. Very emotional, very emotional indeed, and it was heartbreaking really to see, you know, such disappointment after all the hopes and dreams of winning the Indianapolis 500. To go up in smoke like that, especially when it's not even your own fault, is I mean, it's a heartbreaking feeling. I know only too well, because I didn't load my setup at the start of the race, so that was game over before it even started.
It looks like Ben's sitting there comfortably now as we go through Kettle Bottoms. It looks like this gap's come down now. We're quarter of the way through the race though. obviously Ben's pushing, so his tyres might be degraded towards the end of this race. Obviously,
Yeah.
in the LMP2s, I think it's the only championship where we have got damage on. So.
Oh no, we don't.
We have to get it.
No, GT3s has damage, but these don't.
These don't have damage.
No, these are visual damage. LMP2s. I think.
Oh, I thought it was performance impacting. Last week it was.
Really?
I know Nicky came back in the pits to fix the damage, but I don't think the team managed to fix it. He's had to retire the car, unfortunately.
Oh, how strange. You might be right then. I thought it was visual damage, but maybe Ugbuzz changed it for this season. I'll have to have a look at the rules and regulations and double check that, because I seemed to think it was. Oh, but you might be right there, but the diabetic lamb.
Well, anyway, back onto the racing, we can see Ben still sat there within that 1 second gap. He's going to be trying to work out where he's stronger than Richie and where he can possibly gain that time he's lost and get past him towards the end of this race. We're nearly halfway through. We're on lap 4. Driver's currently up in 1:55, 1 minute 55 second lap times as we just come through the carousel now.
Yeah, it looks like Richie's managed to respond a little bit. Ben was piling the pressure on, but Richie's definitely had the better of him on this lap so far. Keep an eye on the lap times as they come up the hill to complete lap 4 of this race. Definitely looks like Richie's got an extra gear in hand as and when he needs it. Yeah, absolutely. Very impressive turn of foot here from our Frenchman. Runner-up last season in the LMP2s to Carnage Venom, who's a multiple world record holder in the LMP1 category. Unfortunately unable to join us this season, so it's given someone else the chance to win. Richie currently trying to take the opportunity with both hands if he can.
Just watching the battle now for the last spot in the top 5, and Civic runs wide down at the last corner.
Oh!
And Dizzler managing to get a clean pass as he come across the line. Dizzler moves up into the top 5 now. He's got Uber 11 seconds up the road, but he's still going to be under pressure from Civic as they start their 5th lap halfway through shortly. It's definitely beginning to spice up. Obviously, these drivers currently lapping a little bit slower. The Dizzler did a 2:07 last time around, so I think a mistake enabled Civic to get past. They've managed to close that back down and is back up into the top 5.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely. I'd say the Dizzler definitely on a charge now after trying to make amends for what happened earlier on. And it's got a long way to go, obviously. It's got 10 seconds up the road to Ugbuzz. It's yet to be seen whether or not he has got the pace to get himself back into. Oh, as we see Civic there having a slight little twitch as he came out of turn 4, but he's managed to hang on to it. But yeah, it looks like Civic not lying down here, still wants to finish in the top 5 here. Oh, as he goes onto the grass all over the place. Oh, Jesus. And well, definitely pushing the limits, trying to keep the Dizzler in sight, but I think the Dizzler's got the measure of him at the moment. Dizzler though is paced.
Like I was saying earlier, Andy, about these curves being very aggressive, and as we can see, the bite in Civic, and it's what's making him lose the time. He's pushing and he's using the track limits as much as he can, but it's just not going to work in these cars with how low they are and how aggressive they are.
Yeah, absolutely. I know exactly what you mean with these. They are lethal, and those, especially those flat curbs on the exits you see just there on the left-hand side, they look very benign and friendly, and it looks like you can attack them, but believe me, you definitely can't. As soon as you get a wheel on them, it's like half your car. It's like someone's slipped a sheet of paper underneath your car. Honestly, it's one of the strangest feelings on the game, and it's very treacherous for these guys to have to deal with.
Yeah, we're over halfway now. You can see Civic there starting his 6th lap, And it does look like Richie's put the hammer down. He's got 3 seconds to a second position Ben Parker now as they both go up the rise. 1:54 last time around for Richie. I think that's the fastest lap of the race. Let's check that out. And it was, so Richie has put his foot down. Fastest lap of the race last time around. You go through the carousel for the 6th time. 9 minutes to go.
Looks like they feel very, very strung out at the moment. Everyone's sort of doing their own thing. I'd say Dizzy Mind is probably best of the rest, stepping in the 1 minute 57s. Ugbar not too far off of him, 58 dead last time around from him. The Dizzler currently just under 2 minutes, just dipping in to that range. Civic running a 2:02 last time around. DJ Phil lapping just a little bit quicker than... Oh no, the Flying Dutchman's gone round! Ugbar losing positions to the Dizzler Civic, and it looks like DJ Phil's a little bit too far back to get past him. But Ugbar there, just having a bit of a moment, obviously getting too much, I think, too aggressive on the accelerator pedal, and unfortunately for him, that's all you need to unfortunately turn round. And he's on the G29, a rig, so Ugbar raced it on the controller for many, many years, recently made the switch to the G29, still getting to grips with it. A lot of these tracks he was learnt on the controller, so he's had to relearn them essentially. I'm sure you understand what that's like, Diabetic Lamb, having raced on it. Oh no! Oh no, Ugbar's into the barriers, he loses his front wing, he's lost half his car, and that is absolutely disastrous for the Flying Dutchman. Is he going to come in for some pit repairs? I think damage is on visual. Oh no, as we see him veering off to the right hand side, he is into the pits. He will need to get that car fixed because it is an absolute wreck. It's a very long way behind the leader now, over a minute behind this man here, Richie, who has pretty much controlled this from the beginning. He's got Ben Parkey keeping him honest though. Ben Parkey actually last time around, Diabetic Lamb, was 7/10 faster than Richie. So he's definitely got the potential to get himself back into this race. He just needs to stick with it, keep doing his thing, keep pushing, and stay consistent. And I'm sure that Richie's going to feel the pressure, and he needs to be able to force Richie into a mistake if he gets onto the back of him. That's going to be the most important thing. Richie is one of the best defensive drivers on Project Cars 2. Knows how to defend his line and keep people behind him, so it'd be interesting to see whether or not he'll be able to do that if Ben does pull onto the back of him, whether or not the pressure will get to him. Richie is a man who is used to fighting it out in races, so we'll have to see how it goes. But at the moment, Richie doing a very, very good job here, just consistently putting the lap times in. Last time around, oh look at that, Diabetic Lamb, 7/10 of a faster. Ben Parkey is on a mission. Took 7/10 out of him. Now the gap under 2 seconds here as we are on lap 8 of this race. We've got 6 minutes left to go. Who is going to take the bacon home in this sprint race tonight, Richie or Ben Parker? Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments who you think is going to take this one. Very exciting.
Obviously, in quality we saw Ben on pole and he did a 1:53.3, so we know he's got more pace. He was nearly 6/10 in front of Richie, so it's going to be interesting. Obviously, losing more fuel as the races goes on. But as Ben saved his tyres for these latter stages, we've got a quarter of the race left to go. We're going to have to keep an eye on this gap. Absolutely,
it's definitely going to be one that's going to be developing right until the end of the race. As we've got a couple of comments coming in on the YouTube chat section now. Actually, Radio Serene, otherwise known as DJ Phil, says hi. Win top 5 from Phil.
I'm guessing he's going for a top 5 this evening. He's got Civic 20 seconds up the road.
One would envisage that that's what he's alluding to there. So obviously DJ Phil currently sat in 6th place at the moment in the standings in this race. 1 minute and 10 seconds off of the race leader. He is driving in the pink and black. I think is that the Nissan? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, it is. So So at the moment doing a good job in some solid points tonight. 6th place does pick up 23 championship points. To put it into perspective, the winner will get 35 as we see the Flying Dutchman finally emerging from the pit lane. He's lost a lot of time here to the other guys. He is now over 2 laps down. In fact, I think 3 laps down on our race leader Richie, who's on lap 9. And the gap at the front has come down another 4 tenths. Ben Parkey looks like he is really... Oh, no. Ben Parkey's almost lost it! Almost lost it. Got a tank snapper there as he came out of turn 2. And just about managed to cling on to it. But that was extremely close there for Ben Parkey. Inches away from putting it in the barriers. And he would have needed some hefty repairs had he ended up in the wall at that sort of speed.
Well, yeah, Andy, we can see as well, he was 4 tenths quicker last time around, so as you said, he's the one putting the hammer down. Now that gap has increased just due to that little mistake there, pushing just too much, and it's nearly out to 4 seconds now. We've got 3.5 minutes to go. I think we're going to see one, or it's going to be close as to whether we get 2 more laps out of this race.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I think Richie's going to... I would say if Richie was leading the race by some sizable margin, he'd probably slow down and let the clock run out, as we've seen him do in the past. But obviously, with only a 3.5 second gap to Ben Parkey, I think that one is pretty much off the table. He's going to have to keep his foot planted and just hope here. Oh, didn't want to do that. Didn't want to do that. Sorry about that, guys, for the brief disruption that you would have experienced on the stream. But yeah, at the moment, Richie doing what he has to do out the front. Looks like we are going to have 2 more laps here, Diabetic Lamb, I think, including the one that Richie's about to start. So 2 and a bit laps left to go here at Road America for the sprint race. Ben Parkey, story of the race, was closing that gap to Richie. Richie broke away in the early laps, managed to build a gap. Ben Parkey in the middle stint started to eke into it a bit as the tyres warmed up, and Richie... Ben Parkey really got his car into the right place. His tyres were at optimum temperature. Then just a lap ago, we saw him have a bit of a twitch coming out of turn 2. Surely when it was probably his hot phase of the race, and unfortunately lost a couple of seconds to him. The gap went from 1.5 to 3.5 in a heartbeat, and now it's settling at about 3.4. So it looks like the gap over the past lap has pretty much stayed the same. You see in the top left hand corner the previous lap time from those 2 boys. Richie 1:55, Ben Parkey 1:57. So he lost 2 seconds just through that slight little error as he was trying to get the power down, trying to maximise his gain on the race leader. 3.3 seconds now is the deficit that Ben Parkey's got to make up. Oh, as we see Ravi getting well out of the way there for the leaders. Good to see our regular commentator here, Raven Maestro, getting well out of the way and allowing these guys to continue on their journey in this particular race, as we're now riding with the race leader, who's surely just going to be managing this last lap. He's only got about 4 miles left to go here, and he will take yet another victory. It's been nothing short of absolutely phenomenal from this man this season here in the LMP2s, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, I do hope that we find a way to get him on the point standings. If we can create a way around this rule that we've got here at Motive Racing, which states that you have to apply to a championship pre-season in order to be classified in the points. Hopefully we can get that sorted out, because he deserves to have every single victory and point that he scores this season count towards something in the grand scheme of things. He'd be leading by quite a margin if he does. If it did.
Yeah, well, I've just got a message there from Nicky. As I said, unfortunately, actually retired the car. Apparently, the Dizzler didn't get a good start on the line, possibly stalled the car, and left Nicky nowhere to go, which got him with damage, and had to repair the car. Oh
no. That's very, very unfortunate there for Nicky. That would explain why we only had 8 cars after the first lap there. But hopefully Nicky will be fighting back here in the feature race. Obviously, he will be allowed to qualify, being that he finished out outside the top 5. The top 5 lads from this race won't be able to set a timed lap in the feature race qualifying session. That means that provisionally it'd be Richie, Ben Parkey, Dizzy Mind, the Dizzler, and Civic as well. Now Civic might be feeling a little bit hard done by, and the Dizzler, to be fair, that they aren't allowed to qualify, but that is the rules, ladies and gentlemen. If you finish in the top 5 and score points in the top 5, then you won't be allowed to set a qualifying lap in the feature race. It's written in stone. So if either of these guys wants to sacrifice points in exchange for grid position, it wouldn't be in the spirit of the game, and it probably would incur a penalty from our steward system. But other than that, you know, it's at the end of the day, we're all here to have fun, and it's just a way that we can make the racing a little bit more interesting and allow the guys who finish towards the back or maybe mid-pack to try and get the march on the guys who finished at the front without doing a reverse grid or any gringy stuff like that. But we're currently watching our race leader Richie here, who has managed the pace. Ben Parkey has closed that gap on him considerably here on this last lap. But it is going to be Richie 95 who's going to exit the final corner here at Road America, and he is going to take home the plaudits here as he comes up the hill and over the line, slows right down as he comes over and ends up coasting over the finish line. Richie is your winner, ladies and gentlemen. Ben Parkey comes over in second, pushed him all the way there, Diabetic Lamb, but ultimately came up short.
I mean, it's going to be interesting to see who's got the pace in the feature race, especially the strategy of having the mandatory pit stop with receiver flashing his lights, as well as Dizzy Mine taking the last spot on the podium. Then we've got the Dizzler coming through the last sector now, heading towards Canada Corner. Good performance from himself, a couple of mistakes dropped him back, he's 41 seconds behind the race leader, so he's definitely going to want to learn from those mistakes and get himself back up there for the fixed race coming up after this, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to stick around. Zevic also one who felt accustomed to the curbs this evening, as we saw throughout the race. The curbs absolutely lethal to that car of his, with the very bright and colourful livery as he comes out the last corner to finish in the top 5. So DJ Phil, Lav and Ubar are going to be your drivers that can qualify for the feature race shortly.
Yeah, excellent stuff there. So who's going to take the pole position in the feature race qualifying session, guys? Let us know in the comments who you think is going to get it. DJ Phil, Ravi, Opa, or maybe even Nicky as well. Obviously he will be eligible to qualify for this one, but it means that less than half the field will be on the track for the feature race qualifying session. But we'll have that underway very shortly, and we are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in a bit, guys. Be sure to get your drinks, have a fag, go to the toilet if you need to, and we will be back on very, very shortly. Ooh, that was a hiccup. One. Action. Action. Oh.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motor Racing YouTube channel. We are underway with our qualifying for the feature race this evening. We are still at Road America for our LMP2 championship. We're on board with Nicky. Unfortunately, crashing the first lap, put him straight back in the pit lane, and his team were unable to fix the car. So during that race, his team have been working hard, and he's back out ready to qualify for this one. So he's going to be one of my favourites for this feature qualifying, obviously due to the top 5 in the sprint race being unable to qualify. There's only going to be, I think, 4 drivers out there for this qualifying session.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a shootout between Nicky, Rav, TJ, Phil, and guys, we've got a very, very special guest in the commentary booth. We have actually got the race winner, Richie95, in the box. Richie, we saw obviously.
Check he's got his mic shared first.
Oh, Richie, before we start, have you got the mic shared to always allow? Currently not picking up any sound from your end, Richie.
No, I find him.
No, at the moment no, we're not.
Oh, he's plugging headphones in, I think.
Oh, is that it?
So we're just watching Ravenous now. 7 minutes to go as he goes through the carousel. Oh, he just gets a little bit squirrely there, loses the back end nearly.
Yeah, that was very, very close, but Ravi trying to find the limits. We saw him have a tricky sprint race. Didn't really go the best for him. He found himself quite a way down the order very, very early on. He'll be hoping to bounce back, I'm sure. Obviously, I can hear an echo.
Can we hear? No.
I can now hear myself talking in the background. Oh no.
Yeah, it's me, in fact.
Here we go. Richie, welcome to the commentary box. Very, very nice win in the sprint race. We saw Ben Parkey get as we see Ravi go into the wall there on the exit of the last turn. We got a yellow flag through the last corner. Ravi into the wall. But yeah, Richie, we were saying there, Ben Parkey has some serious pace around here, but you obviously managed to hold him off and take the win. You made a perfect start. Was it all about the start for you, or what was the pace like in the mid-race? And did you think that Ben would have a chance of coming at you later on in the race?
Yes, because something was wrong with my car and I didn't know what. And in fact, I just found it. I had a hard tire in the front and a soft tire in the rear. So I don't know if I can go quicker, but something was wrong. So I was not sure at all to win. So I was just trying to keep 2 seconds distance for him not to be very, very close. But I was not sure I could have been quicker.
Well, so, it was an incredible performance, I must say, considering that your car was unbalanced and you had different tyres on the front. You had the soft tyres on the rear. That was an incredible performance. Obviously, Ben Parkey will probably have his morale shattered knowing that, because he probably thought that he was doing a really good job of keeping close to you. But knowing that, it seems like you must surely have the feature race pretty much signed and sealed. Are you expecting to take the win, or?
I don't know, because in fact something was wrong, but my tire were not out. Everything was okay, in fact, in the car, except that something was different, and I just realized now that I had soft tires. So maybe I'm not quicker with hard tires, we'll see, I don't know. I think the key will be the departure, because to overtake, if you can have 3 or 4 seconds by overtaking people at the beginning, after it's easier. And we'll see, huh? Because the track is also very narrow, so you can have an accident very quickly. So we'll see what happens.
Very, very true. It's difficult to overtake, especially at the start. So you guys are going to have to be very, very, very careful. Obviously, on that first lap, getting off the line, it's going to be interesting to watch. Diabetic Lamb and I were obviously watching. Oh, hold on! I've just got a message from Diabetic Lamb. What's this saying?
Well, it's nothing important, mate. So obviously, Richie, you've taken part in the whole season so far, unfortunately, as a guest driver. But we're hoping to get you on the
In
reviews.
fact, yes. In fact, I was stupid. I was stupid because I see that some people are not a guest driver and they never race. And me, because I'm not sure to do the last 2 races, I prefer to be a guest driver and I have no points. So next time I will do as if I do all the races, and maybe I will not do it. I will do like others. But when you see you have some people with no points because they didn't race even one race. So, but they are not guest driver. But okay, it's my fault because it is written in the rules, and I should have read that before. It's my fault.
Oh no, no,
Oh
no,
my
no.
goodness me, there's a big crash. We have got a situation in turn 1. Hopefully everyone is okay. We saw Nicky and DJ Phil having an aircraft crash coming into turn 1. It looked like it was Nicky there running up into turn 1 and ending up in the back of DJ Phil there. I don't know if DJ Phil braked a little bit earlier than Nicky was anticipating there. Definitely looked like a scary accident. Hopefully everybody is involved is okay after a
I let
horrifying
you. I
crash
have
there.
to go to pee before the race. Ciao.
Alright, Alright, have a good race. Good luck, Richie.
Okay,
Thanks for joining us, mate. Richie95 there telling us that he needs to go and relieve himself before we get underway for the green flag for the feature race. So he will obviously be starting from the back, having won the sprint race. So hopefully let's look forward to an interesting race with himself as well as Ben Parkey and all of the faster guys coming back through the pack. We are set for a hell of a feature race here at Motive Racing here at Road America for round 4 of the LMP2 Championship. Guys, if you like what you see, you're watching live on YouTube, be sure to slap a like on this video. Join us on Discord. If you want to get involved in the racing action, go to our YouTube homepage, click the little icon in the top right hand corner, and it will take you your ticket to some of the cleanest, fastest, most authentic sim racing on the PlayStation 4 platform here on Project Cars 2. We're currently watching Ravenmeister, one of our regular commentary team here on the YouTube channel, gets to race out on track in these LMP2s, making the most of his opportunity to get those wheels turning and get some lap times in, as we're currently watching our Flying Dutchman here and lead coordinator here at the LMP2s, Ugba, host of the lobby as well. Gets everything sorted out for this thing.
I think he's hoping to bounce back after what happened in the previous race. Just one little mistake put him in the wall, and he was down 3 or 4 laps due to having to fix the damage in the pit lane. But it's still finished, still managed to get some good points, and consistent race for himself could give him possibly even a podium. He's sat on the front row at the moment, less than a minute to go, as he's going to start his last lap with Ravenous just in front of him.
Yeah, it looks like he might get the benefit of some slipstream, whether or not he's going to be held up by Ravi. Oh, Ravi's lost it! Ravi almost took
save, though.
Yeah, brilliant stuff, but he almost took the Flying Dutchman with him there as he managed to cling on to it. It was a fantastic job there not to end up in the wall or even in the side pod of Ugbar. And Ugbar continues on his way. DJ Phil comes over the line. What's he going to do on this lap? It looks like he stays P3 at the moment for the time being. He's going to have one more run here in this qualifying session. See if Ugbar can put himself up into P1 ahead of Nicky here.
Oh no, there's Ram wide there.
Oh no.
That's going to be a slowdown or a lap invalidated.
100%. Looks like P2 is going to be the summit of Ugbar's expectations tonight here in this qualifying session, unless he, by some kind of miracle, manages to get away with that little transgression there as he came through the middle sector.
Yeah, well, as we can see him now coming through the cattle bottoms, heading down towards Canada Corner to finish his last lap of qualifying. Really find 1.7 he needs to beat Nicky in qualifying to get that pole. He's going to start on the front row provisionally. We've got to bear in mind that Richie did start from P2, got that jump, and because he was on the inside, he kept the position in front into turn 1, so it's going to be interesting.
As here he comes, the Flying Dutchman over the line. Let's see what this is going to be. It is a vast improvement on his previous lap time, but it's not going to be enough to put himself onto pole position. So obviously that little track extension that you saw on that lap didn't actually stop him from setting a valid lap time, but he would have had to have backed out of it considerably in order to keep that lap time on the board. So he ended up losing out to Nicky in the standings. We've got DJ Phil here just exiting the last turn now, keeping the car in check as he comes up the hill. DJ Phil is currently sat P3 in this session. Can he advance his position any higher here? He comes over the line and it does not look like it, unfortunately for Phil. So it is going to be Nicky starting this one on pole by just over a second to Ugbar. Not much really separating those guys when you consider that Ugbar did actually have to slow down quite a lot on that lap time. So pretty close between those guys at the front. We've got DJ Phil sat in the podium spots in qualifying, and Ravi set fourth. The other guys in a random order between 5th and 9th, and those guys obviously finished in the top 5 positions in the sprint. So it's going to be fascinating to see how these guys get on. Richie very lucky to be starting 6th here, having won the first race due to the slightly depleted grid for this one.
Well, yes, Andy, what a splendid qualifying session we saw there from Uber. Finding that turn of pace towards the end definitely helped him develop after obviously having that damage, unfortunately, in the sprint race. His team worked hard under the conditions to get that car back into running order, and it looks like it is running perfectly. Obviously, as I said, Richie started on the inside into turn 1 but was on P2. He got the jump, and we might see Uber do the same.
Well, yes, I mean, it was rather enchanting to see how the events unfolded, especially once the Flying Dutchman did actually end up in the wall. It was incredibly unfortunate to witness someone like Ugbar with vast experience in his LMP2 cars should really know how to drive better than that. I was rather astonished at what I was witnessing in front of me, but nevertheless, I'm sure that he is going to be exceptionally determined to bounce back from this. We've currently got Nicky starting on the pole. I wouldn't be very surprised at all if Ugbar were to be at the head of the pack as we come into turn 1, but anything can happen here at Motive Racing, and obviously a good start around this track with the narrowness of the track can often lead to no avail.
Oh yes, 17 laps, Andrew, this evening for the feature race, mandatory pit stop as well, and the lights are about to go green.
Well, Matthew, I can't tell you how excited I am for this one. It should be a simply spiffing evening of racing tonight, as we are moments away, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on to your seats, grab your popcorn, and get a cup of tea if you need to, as we are about to go lights out here, and we are underway. And this good start there from Nicky. It looks like Richie has got an absolute flyer. Richie is already up into 2nd place. I don't know if he jumped the start. Possibly there might have been a little bit of naughtiness going on off the line, but Richie somehow is up into the lead. And there's a big crash in the background, but Richie has managed to avoid all of that and has got some clean air out the front. He's got over a 2-second lead. Diabetic Lamb, I don't know if he jumped the start or not. He seemed to absolutely fly off of the line.
Well, oh dearie me, Andrew, we do like to see this contact. Dan Moore and Sweepy go for the first time. But yeah, right. But yeah. So I can't take it seriously. Oh man. So obviously Richie got a good start there, and a bit of contact between himself and Nicky. I think further back there was some contact as well though. We'll have to see who pits on the first lap. Obviously getting their mandatory pit stop out the way, but to fix damage as well. Richie 4 seconds up the road already. We've got a bit of battle going on, too wide either way as we come down towards That's
Oh my
the king.
goodness me! You can see there. It looked like that was that Raven? No, it was Raven Maestro getting way off into the wall there, and looks like Ben Parkey trying to make some progress. Obviously, it's been a little bit of a not the greatest in terms
Choppy
of
start.
yeah, just
Choppy start.
yeah, slightly. I would say maybe a little bit delayed at this point, but certainly Ben Parkey is trying to get himself back into this. He right on the back here of the Dizzlers. Oh, these two are coming into the pits to
For a cup of tea. A tea break.
possibly a spot of
that
crumpets.
That gap extending the race leader now 5.7 seconds up the road to Civic. Civic coming under pressure from Dizzy Mine already.
Yeah, it would appear that Nicky is definitely piling the pressure on now. And if I were Dizzy Mine at this point, I would probably be a little bit afraid because Nicky was the pole sitter. He did have the fastest lap in the qualifying session. Oh, as we see Dizzy Mine.
Touch of the curb.
Yes, it looks like Dizzy Mine there starting to maybe think this was a bad idea. As he's just got a little bit of a rumble over the curb there, and the car is starting to be rather unsettled at this point in the race. As you can see here, Nicky looking to the inside, but can't seem to find a way through at the moment as we come through the Johnsonville Bridge and into the carousel. As we exit the merry-go-round now, and it would appear that Dizzy Mine has actually managed to put out a little bit of a gap to Nicky, not substantial, but
It's 6/10 as we go through the kettle bottoms.
a reasonably cosy margin for error here.
Deary me. Nicky runs just a bit wide with the energy corner.
Reaching 95 in the meantime with an incredible turn of pace. 2 laps gone. He's already 4 laps ahead.
4 laps ahead? What are you witnessing?
But he's still coming through. Seems to be an exceptionally long way ahead in this race. He's absolute class of his own at the moment. He's our French driver. And hopefully his team have got the oysters and the shrimps ready in that pit box, because he deserves it after the race that he's had in the early stages of this one.
And after the pit stop for Ben, he's dropped down to 8th, 50 seconds behind your race leader.
That is absolutely devastating there for Ben Parkey. I don't know what has got. What does this man have to do to get a bit of luck in this LMP2 championship this season? Dakota, he deserved to finish second in that one, but certainly in the sprint race tonight, he had the pace to challenge our French driver, but it just did not go for him. He had that little switch coming out of turn 2, coming out onto the backstretch, and it was looking up at that point, but then obviously it just all went up in smoke for him, and the poor old chap really can't seem to catch a break here in this Motive Racing League LMP2 series this season, as we're currently riding with Nicky Lauda here. Does appear to be losing time actually to Dizzy Mine. Dizzy Mine has had some quite substantial. I keep saying that word. Why do I keep saying it's quite substantial? So Dizzy Mine has actually had quite some good pace over this last couple of laps. He's managed to pull out the gap to Nicky Lauda by a couple of seconds. In the meantime, let's if we could get some eyes on the. Oh, hold on. Let's get some.
This is the only battle going on at the moment, Andrew. But our race leader still 11 seconds out in front, absolutely flying.
Has been a simply spiffing evening
Oh
so
no, I
far
love
for this
the
one.
pits there.
Oh my goodness me. That's it. No, put him into the pits. It's not good enough.
I mean, I think Richie is on a controller, as we can see by his steering technique in the cockpit view. Quite twitchy.
An incredibly inconsistent cocktail of movements around. It's quite abhorrent to witness here, as we're currently seeing. Ah, really does not look good from inside that cockpit of Richie. We are watching the Raven. Oh my goodness!
My
The Raven
God,
Maestro.
gosh, what a mistake
Somebody didn't tell Raven Maestro that this is a race, not a drift. What do you think this is, Raven Maestro? Some kind of gymkhana session?
I mean,
Goodness.
these cars, I thought they had downforce. What is going on this evening?
Absolutely outrageous behaviour from the Raven Maestro tonight.
I've just seen there a comment from himself. 26 minutes ago, though, he said, "Yeah, awesome. Not awesome, my friend. You cannot drive around this track." I don't know why I'm going Italian.
Yeah, awesome. Wow. To me, anyway, Raven Maestro, the driving that you have shown over the course of this event has been the total opposite of what I would define as awesome.
Well, I mean, he's 46 seconds behind your race leader, and we're only 5 laps into. Oh my days! What is going on with this gentleman? Get him off the track, ladies and gentlemen. Out of the last corner, loses out of position to Ben.
Somebody needs to wave the black flag at this poor old chap, because he is having what is considered as a nightmare tonight. It's really has gone absolutely abhorrently for this man. He's a regular commentator, and I think he should probably jump into the commentator's booth, because quite frankly, it has been an absolute. I can't even say the word. I cannot say it live on television. I'm sorry, but it is just not. It is not appropriate for me to say. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to turn my mic off when I say this.
Has been an absolute creep. So, lap 6, ladies and gentlemen, is about to get underway. Your race leader is 155 last time around. The only driver in the 155s at the moment, absolutely flying around. As we can hear, a crying gentleman in the commentator booth. Obviously, not happy with the performance from Ravenous. As he comes through kettle bottoms. So, as we go through the carousel, for the 6th time, you can see Richie absolutely flying at this moment in time. We're on board his LMP car. You can see they're heading through the kink, down towards Kettle Bottoms. It's going to stamp hard on the brake shortly. You can see the braking markers there. Make sure to use those into kind of the corner. Just a bit of understeer. Trying to keep the pace up as he heads through turn 14. Heading into the last corner. Oh, the race leader's in the pit lane for his cocktail.
It would appear that the oysters that Richie is about to consume are still actually alive.
Oh, the race leader's in the pit lane.
So I'm not quite sure whether or not Richie is going to make the decision to...
Well, the gentleman is back proving a swift stop and a couple of oysters and he's on the way again. He gets overtaken by a few drivers. They are still yet to pit. Mickey up into second, only 2 seconds behind Civic at the moment. And as we go down the morning sweep, and it wasn't the morning sweep, I don't think. There we go, now we go down the morning sweep. Ubar just in front of Richie.
Yes, it would appear that Richie currently sat in 5th place at this moment in time, but that will be the net lead once everybody else does come in for their mandatory pit stop. It's obviously Civic, Nicky, Dizzy Mind, Ugbar, all supposedly still yet to come in at some stage during this race. Let's hope that Ugbar doesn't hold up the Frenchman as too much here, because they are on differing strategies. I feel like maybe we should start talking in our normal voices.
Well, I'm happy to if you'd like to.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologise for that, but we are back on stream here at Motive Racing. I can't do this any longer, I'm sorry. I mean, it lasted 7 laps, but we're back anyway. So, we've got currently Richie 95, he's sat in the prime position here in this race. 5th place, currently 15 seconds off the race lead, but Civic will drop down below him once he comes in. Also Nicky as well. Just messaged G on Discord saying we should probably delete this stream afterwards, but we're being serious now, Badger, so I think it's alright. Personally, live betting Lamb.
Oh, I mean, this track where in America been around for many years, so we'll just bring you back the historic parts of racing around here. Obviously, these cars, I don't think were around back then, but Richie put the pressure on Ubar for the last spot on the podium now as they come down morning sweep. Oh no, Richie made contact!
Oh.
He managed to go up the inside, I think he's going to outbrake himself.
Oh, Richie, yeah, overshooting it. Oh, a little bit.
Trying to go defensive.
It looks like, oh no. Yeah, definitely Richie getting a little bit overzealous there on the brakes and completely overshooting the corner. But Ugbar managing to execute the undercut. Oh, Richie a little bit wide there onto the grass. Just about manages to hold on to it. But he's losing time now, and maybe Civic might sense the opportunity to get his foot down. I think it's unlikely though, unless Richie encounters some rather severe problems here in this race. Civic now coming round to complete lap 8 of this feature race. We are less than halfway through this one, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned for a lot more exciting action here at Road America and the LMP2s. We've got Civic here coming out at the last turn. He's got a 6.3 second gap at 2 Dizzy Mind at this stage. Dizzy Mind currently, let's keep an eye on the lap times as they come over. Civic is in the race lead.
Oh no!
Oh, Richie's up into the P3. Oh, Ugbar's coming into the pits for his mandatory pit stop. Is Ben going to come? Has Ben already been in?
He has, yes, at the start of the race.
So the net lead between Richie and Ben is at the moment 6 seconds. So with 9 laps left to go here in this feature race, there could be potential for Ben Parkey to maybe get onto the back of him and make this a race for the win tonight. It'd be absolutely fantastic if Ben can give it everything, and because obviously we saw in the sprint race he had a chance, had the pace, but wasn't quite able to convert it into a victory. As we're watching the Flying Dutchman now coming towards the end of the pit lane. Back with Ravi, looks like he's currently running 1 minute and 2 seconds off of the race lead. Lapping in the 2-minute 11s last time around. Here is Mr. DJ Phil, otherwise known as Radio Serene on YouTube. One of our regular contingent throughout the week here at Motive Racing Out on Track. Civic currently leading the race, but he will lose that lead once he comes in to make his mandatory pit stop. Richie will assume the race lead.
I was just trying to figure out there, because it says DJ Phil's 2 minutes behind the race leader, but he's yet, but I know he's already been lapped, I think.
Yes, I think that DJ Phil is 2 minutes and 8 seconds behind, so you know he's not doing too badly. DJ Phil, he's having a good race in 8th place, which is some very, very good point scoring position. And we're just actually getting a comment there in the YouTube stream from DJ Phil. Does that mean he's texting and driving?
Oh dear me.
Hold on a moment. Can we get some eyes on DJ Phil, please? It would appear that this man here is doing a little bit of naughtiness. He appears to be texting whilst driving around a circuit. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we do not condone this here at Motive Racing. This is strongly discouraged. And we see once again. Oh no! Oh my goodness! He's doing it again. He's doing it again. DJ Phil, unbelievable scenes. He's just commented again. He's just said yes. DJ Phil, we're very disappointed. We are very disappointed, son. In the meantime, it looks like somebody's just put a lap on him. Civic, is that? No, it's not Civic. It's it appears to be. Is that Opa? Is that Opa that just lapped him? I think it is, yeah. I think it's the Flying Dutchman there. It looks like DJ Phil's... Has he stopped out on track? I'm not quite sure at this point. But it's been a troublesome race for DJ Phil this evening here at Road America. But obviously some very, very good points for 8th place on offer here at Motive Racing, so he just needs to keep up the form that he's been showing so far. It would be an absolutely phenomenal performance if he can indeed keep himself in this extremely high 8th place finish here at the moment.
Oh yeah, obviously, even though he's, like you said, even though he's finishing in 8th, if it was a full grid, that's half of it. So he's getting some good points.
Absolutely.
And you'll see there, first and second doing exactly the same laps last time around.
Oh my goodness, yeah, Civic and Dizzy Mind there seem to be very much on the same wavelength at the moment. Dizzy Mind is trying to close this gap at the front.
I saw Richie aggressively trying to get past Ubal, managed to get the move in safely. Ubal went in the pits, now chasing down.
Right, right, DJ Phil, I've asked you once, yep. I've asked you twice. Now, this is your final warning. No texting and driving. We don't condone this. We can't be teaching the kids that are watching this stream that they can drive like this. It's just not on. It's just not on.
So yeah, Dizzy Mine can see the race leader, but also is being chased down by Richie. He's got 3 seconds to the race leader and 2 seconds behind him is Richie. We've got Ravenous in the pit lane for his mandatory stop now. Here you can see coming out of the last corner to start the lap 12, race leader. Then there's Dizzy. Dizzy going in for his mandatory pit. So he hasn't pitted yet either, so Richie is going to take the provisional lead as well. I don't think Civic has taken it either. So it is going to be a battle between Ben and Richie, and there's 3 seconds, well, less than 3 seconds now between those pair. As you can see, last time around Ben was lapping 2 seconds quicker than Richie. If you look at the lap times, ladies and gentlemen, you can see last time around Ben put a new fastest lap of the race in. So Ben is the man to watch at the moment. Let's jump on board with him and see how close he's getting to Richie. You can see that black car in the distance coming down the long sweeping hill.
Yeah, absolutely, Diabetic Lamb. We saw the story of the sprint race was that Ben Parkey had the pace towards the end, was actually closing in on Richie, made a small mistake coming out of turn 2 which put paid to those chances, ended up just about catching what looked to be almost a spin. So he's got a point to prove here in this one. He has been reeling him in over the last few laps, and Richie's mistakes when being held up behind Ugbar seem to be biting him well and truly on the backside here at this stage in the race. Coming into the final third of this feature race here at Road America, it certainly looks like Ben Parkey, does have a fantastic chance here of taking what I believe would be his maiden win here at Motive Racing.
I can't remember what happened last week. I don't know if he won or he was on the podium.
We did have a stream of last week, but it unfortunately got deleted. So
as you can see there, that black car being chased down by the luminous green. It's going to be interesting towards the end of this race. We'll check this time around. We come towards the last corner now, what sort of lap time's being done, because it does look like Ben is chasing him very quickly. I think that was a flash of lights there as he got the hill this time around. And he is still over a second quicker that time around, Ben.
Oh,
looking off.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant stuff here at the moment.
It does look like they're coming up on lap traffic though, so this might play into Ben's favour or screw him over.
Yeah, who knows at this point. It definitely looks like he's got the pace, but he's Richie, I would say, the man with everything to lose at this point. Obviously Ben can go for it as much as he wants because no one expects him. I would say there's a level of expectation on Richie that we've all come to bestow upon him, whereas Ben Parkey, still relatively new to this league, has burst onto the scene absolutely brilliantly, but it's going to be an incredibly intriguing finish to this race. Whether or not he can manage to make a move on Richie, catching up to Richie is one thing, but Richie is one of the best defensive drivers on Project Cars 2 here on the PlayStation 4 platform, so I'm not so convinced that Ben Parkey is going to be able to make the move, even if he does manage to pull up on him. But yeah, we'll have to see how it goes. I just don't think that Richie is going to allow any cracks to form. He's usually so solid.
Well, on lap 13 though, Andrew, there's we saw them Richie sort of cracking under pressure as he come down Moorland Street, locking up into turn 5. Ben Parkey all over the back of him then. And the gap has extended a little bit now, back out to 1.5 seconds, so it does look like Richie is the faster driver throughout the last sectors.
Well, the thing is, Matthew, whenever Ben Parkey closes up onto the back of Richie, he always seems to find an extra gear, does Richie, and every single time we see this time and time again, it's always when the pressure starts to build, he always pulls something out of nowhere. And last time around, Richie in the 56 is actually, I would say that time around it was more Ben's pace dropping off than Richie responding, because we saw Ben in the previous laps was doing 154s, 155s. Last time around it was a 56.6. Now Matthew, by my calculations, that is 1 or 2 seconds off of what he's capable of here in this feature race. So at this point in time, I would say Ben Parkey is probably dropping off a bit. It's not really down to Richie's outright pace. It's more down to maybe Ben's tyres going off, or potentially the engine overheating. The possibilities are endless, but we see there Richie getting a slightly compromised run coming through turn 3 under the Corvette bridge into turn 4. Once again there, Richie solid. It's through this middle sector that Ben seems to have an edge on Richie as they are coming up on some traffic. That is actually the race leader Civic, who is still yet to come in for his mandatory pit stop. But when he does, he will drop back. This is going to be an absolutely fascinating climax to this race. 3.5 laps to go here at Road America. Currently Richie has it, but Ben Parkey wants it. Is he going to get it? Ben Parkey is a professional racing driver, races supercars in his actual real life, and Richie races on the DualShock 3 here on Project Cars 3. These guys from very different backgrounds, but ultimately both racing on the same track here tonight and racing within half a second of each other here as they come down the pit straight for the 14th time in this feature race. Richie seems to have some solid top end speed here as they come under the brakes into turn 1. Looks like Ben Parkey slots in behind him here and not able to find a way through at the moment. It's Richie is driving extremely defensively though, Matthew, at this stage.
Well, Andrew, as we saw on the previous line, Ben has the pace. I'll see that. And he's going to lose a lot of time down now through the Maureen sweep. With it being so fast and long, but he does have the pace throughout the next couple of sectors, and he wasn't this close last lap. You can see that literally locking up, and that's probably just because he is on the DualShock racing simulator.
Absolutely.
And, struggling.
Well, the DualShock Racing Simulator, if you guys haven't already checked it out, be sure to have a look at the PlayStation website. You can actually buy one for, I think, about £20 nowadays. It is an incredibly cheap rig to get. It's actually wireless as well. You don't need to plug it in. You can hold it in your hands. There's no accelerator pedals or gear shifters involved. It's literally just a piece of metal with these little plastic knobs on them, and it's incredibly simplistic and very innovative as well. Ben Parkey, the man on the rig, chasing after the man on the DualShock rig at the moment. Still just 0.6 of a second separating these guys at the moment. Richie doing everything he can to try and hang on for dear life, with everything to lose here in this feature race. Ben Parkey has got a magnificent run though this time around, coming down the pit straight. Richie is going to go defensive towards the inside now. Can Ben make it go the long way around him? He pulls to the left hand side. Oh, as he gets very loose there onto the grass. It looks like he can't manage to find a way past for the moment. It does look like Richie has a severe straight line speed advantage at this point, Diabetic Lamb, for which Ben Parkey has no answer.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Obviously, we've noticed Ben has got more agile speed throughout the corners, so he's going to have to get the move going.
Oh, we are side by side here, coming into turn 3. Diabetic Lamb, sorry to jump in there, as it looks like Ben's looking to the outside. Richie's going to force him out. Richie, doing some fantastic defensive driving there, and it looked like Ben almost had it around him, but just got a little bit loose on that curb. We mentioned those curbs earlier on. We said about how difficult they are to get right. Oh, it's Richie slams the door. Unbelievable stuff here on the penultimate lap here of this feature race. Ben Parkey chasing Richie down for most of this race, but Richie is not going to give it up easily as we're watching Nicky on the back of Civic. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matthew,
last spot on the podium for this evening's feature race. Who's going to take it? Is it going to be Civic or Nicky? I think both of them running. Is it teammate liveries, or do they just really like bright colours, both of these?
Civic getting very loose on those curbs that we talked about. Just a little bit of a lock up there as well as he tries to stick with him at this point, but Richie still our race leader at the moment, 0.6 of a second is his gap at 2 with Ben Parkey, who has hunted him down, managed to reel him in, get onto the back of him, but so far unable to force a mistake or get up into the position. Looks like he is a little bit further back this time around than he was on the previous lap. As we embark on the final lap here at Road America for round 4 of Motive Racing's LMP2 Championship tonight. What a scintillating race we have had over the course of the sprint feature and both qualifying sessions, and at this point it does look like Richie is going to take home another double here in the LMP2s. What a magnificent achievement it would be if he can once again do it, but Ben Parkey has got the slipstream. Can Ben disrupt the flow of Richie taking another double tonight? Let's wait and see here. We got just over half of that left to go. Is Ben going to go for a late move coming into turn 3? It looks like he's a little bit too far back to go for it at this point. Still trying to force a mistake, having a little look to the inside. Richie not budging. Oh, Richie just about getting it stopped in time. Ben making a little feint to the inside there, trying to get it to his head. Richie having none of it. Richie looks like he's going to take the win here. We're into the final half a lap now. Can Ben Parkey do anything? Is there anything left in his locker to try and force his hand in the final part of this race? It looks like Richie, for all the marbles, is going to take it home here for the LMP2s at Road America. What a brilliant battle these boys have put in for the entirety of this race. Still not over yet. Richie's got to get it around this final sector. Ben Parkey now closes back to within 0.3 of a second again. Unbelievable. He's right up his rear here. Diabetic Lamb. Matthew. What is going to happen here? Final few corners. Oh my goodness me.
Into the last corner.
Here we go.
Is Richie leading the way?
Surely Richie's got this. Yeah, he's got the legs. It's going to be Richie 95 taking the double here tonight at Road America. Brilliant battle. But Ben Parkey still yet to win his first race here at Motive Racing. Gave it a hell of a good go in this one. Who's going to get the podium though, Matthew?
Well, Andrew, I think it is going to be Civic. There is a second gap between these pair as they come into the last couple of corners now.
Oh, it looks like Civic there getting a little bit sideways here as we come through the final part of the lap, but it's going to be a podium finish for him. Managed to finish in 5th place in the sprint race, but it's been a vastly improved feature race for this man. He's going to hold on ahead of Nicky, who was our pole sitter for this feature race. Great job from those boys. Dizzy Mind is going to come round in 5th by the looks of it.
I'm just going to invite our top 2 drivers into the commentary booth as we just finish. If we can get a chat from those young chaps.
I'd be intrigued to know what their take is on that race, because Richie seemed to be paddling at the end of that race. He really was trying to hold him off for everything he could, and Ben had the pace.
Well, I mean, I think, just thinking back to the start of that race, Richie got lucky and got away from all that damage that went on in the first corner, and possibly if that hadn't have happened, Ben might have been out there in front to us then. But I guess we'll never find out because it's already happened.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You are just coasting the car in now. Obviously quite a lot of damage on that car, unfortunately. Yeah, as we have got this evening's double header and win it again in the commentary booth. What a performance that was for yourself, defending those last couple of laps away from Ben. You won by 0.2 at the end.
No, it was a good race, huh?
Definitely, we enjoyed watching that in the commentary booth. But how were you finding it towards the end? Were you trying to conserve fuel or tyres, or was it just defend?
No. In fact, I don't know why. I was 1 second slower than the sprint race, and I don't know why. So I saw that he was coming back, so I was trying not to open the door and to keep the good place on the track, but I was slow. I was really slow. I don't know why.
Yeah, and we saw when we were on board. Obviously, I think you were on the dual shock rig, and you were struggling to get it stopped but turn at the same time. And I think that's where Ben was catching you. What are your thoughts on that? Obviously, being on the dual shock, is that a struggle in the LMP cars?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know what to answer. I don't know. There is some curb where he was coming back very quickly on the brakes, and he was really. He was quicker. To be clear, he was quicker. So I just had to protect the position. That's all. But he was quicker. I have to admit.
Yeah, we've got him in the commentary box as well. Your second position driver is here. How was that down for you, Ben, chasing the whole race, and it did come down to the last couple of corners?
Yeah, really good. It's just a shame that the start screwed up, so I had to make up a lot of time, but it was fun hunting him down.
Yeah,
Obviously, Ben, you set the fastest lap of the race by some sizable margin there, 1.3 seconds faster than Richie. Did you feel that you did have the pace to get past him, and what ultimately was it? Was it Richie's defending, or just didn't have the pace at the end?
His defending was really good, and a few times I tried to outbrake him, but he pretty much matched me as well. But this time, this race, he did a bit of practice and did some race setup work, and it sort of paid off.
Yeah, definitely seemed to. It's just unfortunate that obviously the start of the race didn't fully go to plan for you. If it had,
Richie's really
then
good.
it could have been different. Sorry.
But you know, I was listening to Andy who was saying on the comments, Richie is very difficult to overtake. Richie is very difficult to overtake. So I was thinking it to myself, well, I have to be very difficult to be overtaken.
Yeah, you lived up to that.
Yes. Well, we hope that you boys weren't listening to the whole stream. But yeah, it was a fantastic stream to watch. We really enjoyed all of the racing. It was a great end to the race. Really good. Really, thanks for that, guys.
If I had one more lap.
Yeah.
And obviously, next week being round 5 of the championship at Spa. What are both your thoughts going into that one at Fast Track? I'm guessing you both know it really well.
Yeah, I do know that one. I'm hoping I can make it. I'm not sure yet, but I hope
I'm not completely sure I will do the race, or it will depend if I bring with me the PS4 in the south of France, because now I live in Paris, but I go to the south. If I have good connection, I will do it. If I don't have good connection, I will not do it.
Whatever slows you down.
Well, we appreciate you both giving us a good battle towards in the race there.
Yeah, let's have more of that.
Anything else to say?
Thank you very much, chaps, for joining us. Thank you also to everybody who watched us live on the YouTube channel, Motive Racing. If you like what you see, be sure to join our Discord server, join our races, and subscribe so you'll be notified when we're live from us. It's a very, very good evening. Be sure to join us for the touring cars tomorrow evening at 8 PM BST, that's UK time. But from us, it's a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, much love.